Hello and welcome to Campus Club's video training on events. Hosting events is a core activity for many clubs, since they're a great way to raise funds, increase awareness for your group, or just reward your club members for their involvement. This video will contain all relevant information on how to request NATSA Campus Club support and services for your club's events, and what event policies are in place for clubs. The event submission process. Step 1. The event submission process is available on your club's Ooks Life page. Step 2. Any activity or initiative that your club has a significant role in planning or executing should be registered on Ooks Life. By completing the event submission process for every club event, your club is registering their event with Campus Clubs, therefore getting credit for hosting the event, as well as being covered by our liability insurance. The form is based on logic, which means that the length of the submissions will increase when your event requires more services from Campus Clubs. Many of the services Campus Clubs provide can only be requested via the event submission process. Don't worry about having all your smaller event details, such as an event image or some marketing materials. If they are key, time-sensitive services for your event that you would like to prioritize setting up, simply submit a first draft of your event and make edits as needed. Your event submission can be a work in progress. Event timelines. Before we jump into the event submission process itself, an important factor to consider as part of your event planning is the timeline of your submission. Generally, the more services you request via Campus Clubs means a corresponding wait for your event approval. As a rough estimate, the quickest an event can be approved is 1 business week. This usually applies to events that have requested space bookings only, or space bookings and minimal other services. If your club is planning on hosting an event that has food service done by your club members, we suggest submitting your event submission process 2 business weeks in advance of your event date. This 2 business week timeline is also a good fit for events that require payment services like Square, Shopify, online payments, or Eventbrite. And finally, when requesting any events where club members will be responsible for alcohol service, your event submission process must be submitted at least 3 business weeks in advance. These events require specialized AGLC training for your club, which require a longer setup time. To access the event submission process via Ooks Life, first sign on to the platform. Then open the left-hand navigation menu. Depending on your screen size and browser settings, you may want to expand this menu to see more details. In the navigation menu, click the gear icon to access the management settings for the organization you would like to submit an event for. Then choose Events under your organization tools. On this page, you'll see any previous event submissions for that organization. On the top right, you should see Create Event. Clicking this brings you to the start of the event submission process. This form saves automatically. Only club executives who have event permission on your page can perform these actions. The beginning of the event submission process collects the forward-facing information that will be present to students, staff, or others looking at your event on Ooks Life. These questions are asked by the Ooks Life platform. They include event basics such as your event title, description, date, time that might be available to students if they were to attend your event. Other available options on this page include perks, themes, and categories. Perks, themes, and categories all help to make your event more searchable on Ooks Life. The next page of the event submission process is your RSVP settings. These settings are helpful if you would like to collect information from your guests before the date of your event. A great way to use these RSVP settings is to collect information such as dietary restrictions, clothing sizes, or details such as seating preferences. You can create as many registration or RSVP questions as you would like. The third page of your event submission process is your post-event settings. All attendees will automatically be able to rate your event based on a 5-star scale after the event. This is an automatic feature of ookslife.ca. The rest of this page is not mandatory to be filled out. But if you would like to ask your attendees any questions after the event, this is the page to put those. The fourth page of your event submission process is an opportunity to provide a cover image. This cover image will be viewable on the ookslife.ca platform when people search your event or visit your organization's page. If you are submitting the event submission process in advance of having your image created, then you can leave this page blank. We do suggest having an event image, but that can be added at a later time. The fifth page of the event submission process is the first page that will be viewable by Campus Club's administrators. Because of this, it will ask for information that might seem a bit repetitive to your initial pages. It's important to be detailed and specific when answering these questions, as any miscommunications could lead to a delay in approving your event. An important thing to note about this page is that it asked for details of the primary event organizer, or PEO. The primary event organizer is the person who will be in attendance for the duration of the event and could be contacted by campus clubs during the event. The PEO can be different from the students submitting the event. When answering the questions to create your event, select Yes for those that apply to you, and select No for those that don't. This will ensure you only have to complete pages that are relevant to your event. If you require help or get stuck at any point while submitting an event, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Campus Clubs team for clarification. Something that you may encounter in the event submission process is an error page. These error pages will be shown to you if you have made choices that are incompatible. One example of an error is as follows. The event submission process submission states that the event is not a fundraiser, but then later in the form you choose that your club is collecting monetary donations. If these contradictory choices are made, you will see an error page. These error pages include a Terms and Conditions button of which error has been made and how it can be corrected. If you accept the terms and conditions on an error page without making any edits to your form, it will be cut short. If your completed event submissions includes an error page, it will be denied. You will need to go back and fix the contradictory pages before you're able to proceed with your event submission. All activities require assessment of possible risks to the project and activity, and a plan to reduce that risk. The amount of risks you are required to complete will depend on the specific activity you are submitting for. Events that present low risk, for example on campus, no physical activity, etc., only require 3 to 10 risks to be completed. More advanced events with greater stakeholders will require more risk assessments. Campus clubs may ask your group to strengthen your risk assessment or complete a more thorough risk analysis if your event presents unique features. After your risk assessment, you will be able to submit your event. Please keep your submission timelines in mind, especially if you have submitted a complex event. You may also be contacted by other NATSA departments to finalize event details. And there you go, everything you need to know to submit an event on ookslife.ca. For further details, please reference the Events chapter of the club's handbook or ask a Campus Club's administrator.